Yellow, beautiful people of the South, welcome to Benta with Mohau Kwebu. Today is the 26th of April 2003, and what is it that we know? We know that the former Eskom CEO, Mr. Ryter, is currently answering questions in Parliament in the Scopa Portfolio Committee, where he has to account. Scopa is a portfolio committee where people that are accounting for public accounts, public companies like Eskom, SAA, when their CEOs have something to account to, they go to Scopa. There are a few things that I think I would like to say that I told you so about them. Number one, I was proven right that the Ryter was not going to appear physically in the parliament. I told you that our parliamentarians have made it difficult for this gentleman to come, because even he said it on his presentation that I do not have protection. But I just want to go through a number of things that I had in today's presentation before Eskom did what he does famously, which is to cut me off, and I'm in load shedding right now. The first thing that we have had the Ryter saying today, personal that I've written down, is that he has told Pravin Gordan and Mr. Mafumadi the names of the senior politician that was eating and committing corruption at Eskom. So we're sitting here with ministers that know who is a senior politician that has been named by the Ryter. And what do we do about that? It is an open secret in South African politics that you cannot touch Pravin Gordan. I don't remember a single portfolio committee where Gordan went and explained himself. He really gives interviews. When he's given interviews, those interviews are quite curated. Let me put it in that particular way. They are curated, and most of them, they are happening in his space, meaning that when you come to his space, you somehow will have to be told before you even start that which are the things that you are allowed to ask me and which are the things that you are not allowed to ask me. Right now we know that the deal with Takatso, this is a deal to sell off SAA to private consortium called Takatso. People are saying that SAA is being hugely underrated, underestimated, and undervalued. Meaning that a company like SAA, for it to be taken by a private consortium by the name of Takatso, we first need to understand what is the value of SAA. And apparently right now they say SAA is worth this much, it's worth this much, when SAA is worth this much. And the person who is in front of that particular transaction is Mr. Pravin Gordan. And this is one gentleman from when he was a commissioner at SARS, creating rogue units. He has not even right now accounted in all those times to being the person who he is today. So finally today, one thing that I'm glad of, that Mr. Pravin Gordan has been named as a minister that has been told about this particular senior politician who is busy corrupting Eskom. Me and you are suffering from this stage 10, stage 11, is because Gordan is allowing the rot at Eskom to continue. And we've heard of this particular new name, Mr. Mafumadi. Those who don't know Mafumadi is a struggle icon, liberation icon, who was once a minister of safety and security in the first, in the 90s, and right now he sits in the presidency as the senior advisor in the state security cluster somewhere there. So these particular individuals were told, there is someone who is eating here, but both of them did nothing up until today. Now, some people were saying there is this thing that keeps on coming back. Mr. Ryter, you have not done your duty as a CEO of a state-owned company by not going to the cops. Again, we hear that Mr. Ryter said, I went to the national commissioner. A national commissioner that we now understand that he cannot even sign or send an email because of his illiterateness. But we now learn that that particular national commissioner of the police was even told, listen, I have found proof and I have found that a particular number of people are eating and are doing corrupt deals, and that particular national commissioner has said nothing to us. But what is important is that when he was forced to mention the name of that senior individual, the Ryter said, I do not have immunity to be mentioning these names. And I heard another member of the portfolio committee says, right now we can allow you to be sworn in, and then so that you could have that protection. The Ryter says that sworn in would not do me any good. The protection that I need is the one that will keep me alive, not a protection that will be given to people like Babita Diokaran, but at the end of the day, hitmen will be coming into my house and killing me at the gate of my own house. So, once again, we have been given the names of people who've been sitting on top of corruption and turning a blind eye. Are we, as the portfolio committee, going to act on Pravin Gordan for the first time in history? Are we going to make sure that this particular gentleman gets to be taken out of this pride and arrogance that he has as the parliamentarian of South Africa? Or is ANC going to use his majority once again to protect this individual? I said it on my previous video that I am not in any other way confused or which ministers are we talking about here. There's only one minister that Pravin Gordan will be reporting to directly with regards to Eskom. And that particular minister right now we know is Pravin Gordan. And I mentioned it in my previous video. And I also said that these particular ministers have been in our radar for quite some time, yet we don't want to behave like we know them. Do you understand that? So, ladies and gentlemen, I think in the previous video I said that Mr. Ryter was going to appear on Tuesday. That was the wrong information that I'd like to update, because he's appearing right now on Wednesday, the 26th of April. But that's neither here or there. What we know right now is that we are expecting a quick invitation to be sent to the current Minister of Public Enterprise to come and account to the entire South Africans, to the entire portfolio committee, to say, if you've been given the names of a senior politician, what have you done? And quickly, which is very fascinating, I have just heard that Mr. Jack Paul, who is working for News24, has released an article which says that all the names and the corruption stories that the Ryter dependent on, the report that the Ryter, the investigation that the Ryter had managed to put to happen there at Eskom, that report cannot be relied to. Do you understand what I'm saying? Or should I repeat it again? When the Ryter was in Eskom, he realized that there is a lot of fraud that is happening here, but he needed to understand the depth of that fraud. So he put out an investigation where a lot of people were found to be wanting, and some of those people were these senior politicians that I'm talking about. So they're saying that the report on its own cannot be relied to as something that is got truthfulness in it, because it looks like the people that were busy investigating there are people with no substance. The moment you find a way to, this English is running away, I'm gonna use Sesotho, ka nako eo leng gore ha tlamele o dile ka di-facts ka yona, mara bo sa batlo o dila ka di-facts, o bo batla phoso ho motho o a o fang report, o tsebe ona le phoso e nngwe leng gore wa etsa mo. For instance, I was making this example about that gentleman, Rutendo. Instead of coming out and be critical with regards to Gold Mafia documentary, he discredits Al Jazeera by saying Al Jazeera did this, Al Jazeera did that. We will get to that situation when we find time to get to. But are you dealing about the facts? What are you saying regarding the facts? Right now, they are not dealing about the facts of the report. They are dealing about the people who were rendering the investigation. We all know, those of us who've got brains, that 702, News24, they are in the pocket of the president. We all know that. They will always be reporting stuff that is in favor with the presidency. We know that. You understand? It is said that some of the people that you are finding in these particular platforms are people that we've grown to love. So here we are. So we're looking forward to the portfolio committee. As soon as electricity comes, I'm going to join the portfolio committee and hear how far is the Ryter going. He started by saying that do not expect me to be naming the names of the people that I said did corruption because I don't have protection. Why is this person up until right now, does he not been given the necessary protection? In South Africa, you cannot be a whistleblower and just be allowed to go there by your life. They're going to murder you. They're going to kill you. Do you understand that? So we give thanks. Let's hope this is just a step towards the right direction. Next year there are elections, and if you are an ANC person, you need to be doing everything in your power to fundraise. And we know right now that Pravin Gordan is the biggest fundraiser in ANC. That's why he will not be reshuffled to anything. That's why he will not be taken out of cabinet up until he dies. Do you understand? So we need to find a way to dethrone these people and take them out of power. That's just my reflections regarding the portfolio committee today, having Mr. De Ryter coming in. Let's hope there'll be something different that will be shared. Do you understand? We are dealing with stage 14, 15 right now. And we've got people that me and you are paying, and they're sitting and turning a blind eye on this corruption. Just like I said, this corruption is man-made. This crisis is man-made. Someone somewhere is benefiting. This has been a wonderful banter with Mohau Kwebu. Don't expect correct, don't expect wrong, just expect information that will be thrown into your face like that. It's your duty to go and find out what I say is true. It's your information, it's your responsibility. I'm just sparking, I'm just sparking an interest. It's your responsibility to go further and find out more about what I've just said in this particular platform. It has been a wonderful day. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.